Hey y'all, good morning. I know I have been AWOL. Missing in action for about 3 months. I made my last video, I think it was the 1st of January, New Year's Day. And I was all amped and motivated and ready to go. I told you guys, it's going to be a great year. And it is. But quite honestly, if I'm being real with myself and trying to live an authentic life, I basically was faking the funk. And if I would have known that the next 3 months would have been, I won't say it's not a depression, it's just in a rut. And it was a combination of a whole bunch of things that I could get into, but quite honestly, the things that they were, nothing devastating, nothing life-changing per se, but just things that life throws at us every single day. And it's how we choose to deal with it is what's going to make our success or our failure. These were a lot of emotional issues. The biggest one I'll go ahead and share with you. Sorry, I'm out here at Lone Mountain. I'm back in my happy place. But my daughter, I have 2 kids. My son is almost 21. My daughter is 19 and a half. And I want to say for the last couple of years, not that they're great kids. They're very good kids. But I think once they turn to adults, I kind of guessed that, or I guess I assumed that they would just all of a sudden at 18 just have so much responsibility, so much consideration, and taking the initiative to do things because they were now adults. It doesn't quite work out like that. And we had to have a conversation, I want to say back in December, that if we couldn't function as a family, not that we don't love each other, trust me, that's not even an issue, then we would function like roommates. And I split the bills up by quarters. Of course, theirs was more like an eighth. But I was trying to teach them responsibility. And for them to understand that they couldn't just pay these bills whenever they wanted to, that they had due dates and consequences if they didn't pay them. Just like in the real world, your landlord's not going to go chase you down for your payment, or Nevada Power is not going to give you a friendly reminder call. No, they're just going to turn your stuff off. Well, long story short, the son stepped up and the daughter stepped back. And quite honestly, I love my daughter. I love her with everything I am. But maybe she's too much like me, I don't know. But we butt heads. And she's not disrespectful, she's not mean, she's not out running the streets, she's none of that. But she's very inconsiderate. And she just drains me emotionally. And I just, quite honestly, I couldn't take it anymore. So I let her know that she was going to have to move out by May 1st. That it was time for her to start her own life, and she didn't want to function as a family. And it was really hard on me because I had to go through the guilt of, oh my God, how could you do that? This is your child. And I felt guilty. I felt like, am I doing the right thing? Is she gonna hate me? I'm sorry I keep saying my mouth is so dry. I'm up here on Lone Mountain. Isn't it beautiful? I know, I love it up here. It's my peace and quiet. So she had till May 1st, and she actually moved out. See, this Wednesday will be 2 weeks. And it wasn't a bad move. It wasn't, I'm never coming back, I'm never seeing you again. She got a U-Haul. She went and changed her address. She got an apartment with a friend. And I wanted to make sure I was not there when she was actually moving out because I didn't know how emotionally I would take it. So I came home from the gym and her dad and her brother was sitting in the living room. I said, so Tori's gone? And they said, yeah. So I was like, wow, she didn't even say, goodbye. And my husband says, well, it's not really goodbye. She's just moving down the street. So a couple of minutes later, the phone rings. And it's her. And she says, hey, Mom, I'm all settled in. I got my bed. And I was like, well, I just really wanted to tell you, in person how proud I was of you and how you stepped up and you handled your business. And even though you had until May 1st, you know, you really handled it. And I was so proud of her. So she said that she really appreciated that. Sorry, guys. She said she appreciated that, and hey, can we have dinner on Sunday? Well, we had a wedding to go to, and she goes, oh yeah, that's right, Uncle Nate's getting married. How about Wednesday? And I said, sure, come on over on Wednesday. She says, okay, I'll come over after school. So she texts me. She goes, hey, we got out of school early, you know, can I come over? And I said, absolutely. You know, her dad told her to keep her key, and, you know, if she ever needed something to eat, just come over and get something to eat. I never want my children to want for anything. And maybe that was part of the issue. But so she came over, and I walked in, and I was happy to see her. And because we hadn't seen each other all week, we had plenty to talk about. And she was doing her homework. She says, yeah, my apartment doesn't have internet. I was like, oh, you know, how are you doing your homework? She says, well, I go to school a little bit earlier and do it. I said, oh, okay. And she was telling me that her apartment air conditioning went out. And I said, well, did you call the landlord? And she says, yeah. And she says, they said they'll work on it. I said, well, Tori, you have to be tenacious. You know, these things you're renting, you know, you gotta put your foot down. She says, yeah, I will. And she says, hey, Mom, I gotta ask you something. And I was preparing myself. I was like, this is for the move back in. It's only been a week. She goes, do you mind if I do laundry over here? I was like, no, I don't mind. And so we had a good talk, and she did her homework, and her dad came home. We had dinner, and her and her brother and me and Jeff, and we had a good talk and everything. It was getting probably about 9 o'clock. She goes, okay, I got to go home. I got to get ready for work tomorrow. And she says, hey, we're going to do this again next Wednesday? And I was like, yeah, sure. So what started off as being I don't want to call it a bad situation, because I never wanted to have to, and I don't want to say kick my kids out, but maybe push them out of the nest a little bit, maybe a little nudge. But it was very emotional for me, because I was a single mom for a lot of years before Jeff came along, 12 years. And I did everything. I mean, everything. And to feel like I was being taken for granted or not appreciated, I guess that's what hurt the most. And it was so draining. And it was affecting me emotionally. It was affecting my weight. Not making any excuses. But one thing I am so proud of myself is that since I've started my journey this last time, and this has been the monumental time for me, third time is a charm, I handle situations a lot differently. Yes, I have my moments where I resort back to my old days, because quite honestly, you know, I'm changing years of learned conditioning. And it's going to take time, and it's going to take patience, and it's going to take me being good to myself and being understanding with my own self. And but I never once quit doing what I was doing. I never stopped doing my best every day, staying within my guidelines. And on the days that I didn't, I'm going to be very honest, on the days that I didn't, I just snapped back, and I was like, you know what? There was no wait until tomorrow. We'll start over again tomorrow. No, we're going to start over right now. And I'm very proud to say that is one of the most wonderful gains that I've had through Weight Watchers, is the ability to deal with situations like life differently. And in the end, that's all it is. Life is going to happen. We're going to have challenges. We're going to have emotional days. We're going to have physical days. We're going to have days that drain us. And we're going to have people in our life that drain us. And you either find a way to deal with it, or you change the situation. And when you can't change the situation, you have to change your perception of it. I need to do better, because it's good for me. It's good for me to be accountable, and it's good for me to come up here and share these things with you. It's therapy for me as well. It's for me being accountable. And plus, it's good. So, I am going to finish my beautiful walk. I don't know if you can see up there. I'm going to turn this around. Up at the very, very top. You might be able to see them, you might be able to not. There's 2 people up there. There's a trail that leads up there, and this year I will be going up that. I made goals for myself last year to scale the stratosphere and to run my first 5K. I'll be up there on top of that mountain. I can't say when I'm going to do it. I sure hope there's no snakes up there. But I'm going to do it. So this week is all about being good to yourself. Being kind to yourself. I mean, you are truly, and it's been evidenced several times to me, that I am my own best friend. I am, quite honestly, the only one that understands me 100%, that is there for me 100%, that will kick my own ass 100%. And I'm not saying that I don't have amazing people in my life. I do. I am so blessed. I am so... I can't even tell you. I am so happy with the people in my life that make my life so happy, and I'm overusing the word happy, ain't I? Fulfilled. And I'm grateful for each and every one of you that share that with me. But at the end of the day, it is just me, myself, and I. Same for you. You know your deepest, darkest secrets, your deepest, darkest thoughts. You know, when we feel low and we feel like nobody really understands, trust me, there's plenty that understand. Talk to somebody. Share it with somebody. You know, not through text, not through internet. Say, hey, can we sit down and talk? I just need somebody to talk to. You know, we've gotten away from that, old-fashioned communication. We're so busy, we're so this, we're so that. But you know what? When things are important, we make time for them. We make the effort for them. So, wasn't expecting, well, this is not as long as normal videos, so I'm proud of myself. Hey. Maybe it's because my throat's so dry. You guys lucked out today. I just got done with spin class this morning, feeling exhilarated. And I said, you know what? Instead of finishing up my 10,000 steps on the treadmill, let's go to my mountain. I'm off for 5 days this week, so I'm being good to myself. I'm really being good to myself because this is the 2nd week in a row that I've taken 5 days off. I could really get used to this. Is this what retirement feels like? Oh my God, I can't wait. All right, you guys, you have a great day. And just know, there's always somebody out there that understands. I definitely understand. Okay? You guys have a great day. Get out there. Be the best version of yourself. You know what? If you slip, get up. It doesn't matter. Success is not about never failing or never falling or never stumbling. It's about how many times you get up from that. And you can do it. I know you can. All right, you guys, have a great day, okay? I'll talk to you later. Bye.